let's put the finishing bits on this Chibson. I got some covers to put on the pickups, and so while I'm at it, we may as well try and wax pot. I've built this contraption. I super glued these little legs to this tin pot. I'm gonna put a nice smelly candle under there. I'm gonna melt some wax and drop the pickups in it. Now this could go horribly wrong. This could fall apart and wax could spill everywhere. I don't know, but let's have a crack, see what happens. Could be worth sticking around if you want to see me make an absolute fool of myself. I've got some machine heads. To be clear, this video is not sponsored. I do have a sponsored video coming up with Geica, but I bought these ones for this guitar. But I am buying this stuff because it's a pretty good price. It doesn't take too long to get here. Trying to Australia, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. Put a link in the description if you're looking for some stuff. I'll also put a promo code down there for you. So if you use the promo code or my link in the description, I'll get a little kickback and you can have 10% off. We both win. These should look pretty cool. Now this stuff is super bright gold. I think that's a little bit too gold. It's been a while since I've had a new guitar with gold on it, so who knows. Hopefully this will age up pretty quickly because it's a little bit too new looking for this guitar. But now while I've got the pickups out and I'm wax potting them, there is something you guys didn't really notice. Now only 2 people picked up on this. I put the pickup in upside down. I did this by mistake. I only noticed it when I was editing, but then I thought, you know, that's a greenie mod. Let's just leave it there and see if anyone notices it. So at the time of recording this, there's 190 comments and only 2 of you guys picked up on it. I found that interesting, especially considering a lot of you are pointing out things that are wrong with the Chibsons, but you missed this one. Should I start melting that stuff there, or should I pull it? I think I'll pull these out first, because if that knocks over, I kind of want to keep an eye on that. I do have the pickguard here, but the shape's a bit funny, so I'm not sure. I don't think I want to put it back on. I quite like the look of it without the pickguard. I think that can stay off. Also wouldn't mind putting a more vintage style switch knob on there. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Do you prefer a black Les Paul with gold hardware to have a scratch plate or without? I quite like the look of the standard black where it's got the cream guard and the gold knob, silver hardware. That's a pretty cool looking guitar. Some pretty good debating going on about Chibsons, you know, about whether morally correct to buy one, or kind of agree with that somewhat. But I'm making myself feel better on this one by saying to myself that, well, you know, I bought it secondhand, which means I took it out of the market so no one else will buy it, and I don't plan on selling it. So we could say I've done my duty and taken one out of the market. And to be honest with you, with all the work I've done it, I've actually reached for it to play it quite often. So there's that. I have to desolder these. You probably can't see what I'm doing because it's quite tricky to get a camera into one of these cavities. I gotta stop mumbling when I'm doing shit. It's gotta be annoying, right? So you know, I'll put a link to these covers. These covers fit Epiphone pickups perfectly. So the rear one is spaced to fit and the front one is also spaced to fit. You got different spacings between these pole pieces. If you get these around the wrong way, holes are too far apart, holes are too close together. Geica get this right for you, and they are spaced to fit Epiphone or Gibson style pickups. Measurements are on the website, just check them and then check yours. Sometimes a bit of fresh solder can also help. Well, that's interesting. These are not potted. So that'll explain why they're microphonic. They've never been potted at all. These are just Epiphone base plates. That would explain why the wires are a wrong color. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, here's what it is. They sound okay. I'm still going to dunk them. Give them a clean up first. Time to see if I can make a fucking mess of this. Right, so I've just got some of the stuff that you use for making your own candles. I think this was a beeswax, this one. I'm just going to chuck all that in there. I'm going to use the scented candle. Hopefully my wife doesn't find out. Jumlick. Oh fuck, I don't have a good feeling about this. I really don't. Let's put this down here just in case. You know what I do need? I need some sort of lighter. I really fucking should do this outside, eh? Here we go. It's overcool to light a candle with, isn't it? There we go. It's going. Well, keep your fingers crossed for me. Maybe I can I speed it up? Ooh. Did I hear that crack? Doesn't take a lot of heat to melt it, but what could possibly go wrong, right? Yeah, I know, there's better ways to do this. There's a hole appearing in the middle. I'm guessing that's because that's where the flame is, so it's working. All right, while we're waiting on that to melt, maybe we should do the machine heads, eh? So there's nothing wrong with these machine heads. These are Goddos. I'll put them aside and maybe we can use them on something else. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. The only problem with them is that they're silver, so this guitar needs gold hardware. I got these because they're kind of a Grover kind of a thing with the tulip shape, so they'll line up exactly right. I don't have to drill any new holes, and they'll kind of look the part, I guess. Just once again, this is not sponsored, but I do like these Geica machine heads. They feel really good quality. Nice smooth machine action, but they're a fraction of the price of what you would pay for, say, even Goddos or Grovers or anything like that, you know. These are a good cost-effective way. Just remember though, they do come from China, so it takes a little bit longer. It's funny, this must have been put together when the paint was still soft too, because those are quite indented. How's our wax going? Getting there? I don't know, this kind of feels like a bit of a science experiment or something you shouldn't have been doing during science. Right, let's dunk one, see what happens. Drop it in, let it bubble. I will admit I was expecting to see more bubbles coming out of it. Maybe I don't have enough wax in there, I don't know. We'll see if it works anyway. Nope, it bubbled. Did anyone see that? I'm going to leave it in there for a while. I mean, it's not going to hurt it. So I wonder if these being taped already is going to stop the wax from penetrating into the coils. If that's the case, then I'll just say I was trying to partially wax them and keep a little bit of that paff feeling alive. I'm getting bubbles though, so something's happening, right? So my camera is overheated and a couple of them turned off, so I don't know where the footage is at, but it is what it is. One thing to note when you're doing these gold covers, you do need to scratch some of that plating off just on the edge. Otherwise the solder won't stick. Just using a screwdriver, you probably use a file or something, but you don't need a huge amount of solder on this either. It's just enough to hold it there. You're just tacking it, you're not sealing up the tomb of death. It's really just to hold it in place. You need the tiniest bit. They get hot real quick too, so just watch your fingers. Doesn't need any more than that. Ring back on. Make sure I put it in the right way this time, hey? Well, I will be interested to see if my homemade wax potting worked, or if these pickups are still microphonic and squealy.